Welcome to the Brookmont Interfaith Service. We begin with the song Take the Time by Heather Pearson. Time is short and there's so much to do. Hard though we try, the work is never done. Every breath is a chance to start anew, to share your love and joy with everyone. So take the time while you can, take the time while you can, take the time to show your love. When your life seems to run away from you and you feel an aching in your bones, every soul shares the same path with you, so don't be afraid, you don't walk alone. And take the time while you can, take the time while you can, take the time to show your love. Take the time to notice, take the time to feel, take the time to reach out for what is real. Take the time while you can, take the time while you can, take the time to show your love. Since we were last together to praise God for all of our many blessings, how many more we have received. The continual blessings of food and drink, of family and friends, of health and healing. The blessings of being able to sleep and dream and wake and breathe and walk and work and tire and sleep again and wake again as day returns. We now take a moment to consecrate our bodies with the understanding that we are holy and that we can do sacred acts. All of us are sacred vessels, channels through which the divine flows into this world. Each of us is uniquely formed so as to bring forth a particular aspect of the mystery. We give thanks for all of who we are. We give thanks for our places in the mysterious unfolding of all creation. We ask that our hearts be open and our minds be clear so that our lives can be of service. And together with all beings, we will bring forth blessings. No part of my body is excluded from God's compassion, and none can be withdrawn from God's service. The great commandment holds, no matter where we are. My love for God manifests as love for my neighbor. May whatever is done by, with, to, and through my body be done in love. Amen. In a moment, we will bring to mind those in our lives who need healing in body, mind, or spirit. I would like us to say a prayer for those who have been touched by violence in the past weeks. The kind of pain and fear and terror that has been going through the Black community because of the shooting of Ahmaud Arbery has been intolerable, really. Asian Americans have been attacked. Recently, a delivery man just making a delivery was stopped in a community by two men and asked what he was doing there, and he explained he was making a delivery, and they kept him for an hour, which was very frightening for him. And I'm sure that there are instances that are unreported and that we don't know about, but we hope for healing for all those who are touched by this kind of violence and touched by the stories of this violence. Compassionate One who reaches out to the survivor, to the mourner, to the witness. Grant solace and peace to those suffering from physical, emotional, and spiritual trauma by acts of violence. Compassionate One, we ask that you be a part of their healing. And, Compassionate One, we ask that you show us and those close to them how to help them heal. Help them be released from visions of hate and destruction. Help them be released from guilt or shame, from fear or anger. God of healing, God who weeps with us, you are a source of strength for survivors of violence and tragedy in every land, in every age. Help them find hope and comfort. Give strength, patience, and understanding to those who love them and will help them, over the years, heal. May our prayers strengthen our resolve to protect others. Amen. Now, before we sing Mishaberach, a prayer for healing, please bring to mind those that you wish healing for. Bring them into your heart, and we begin. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. As of right now, we remain in compassionate isolation from each other. There isn't a way for us to know how long this will be necessary. However, we still have the opportunity to raise up, to make holy the time we have on this earth, even under these circumstances. Maybe even more so because we've been shaken loose from our lives of habit. As you will hear in this reading, holy actions are taking place among us all the time. As I read these lines, you might like to bring to mind examples from your own life of these holy actions. There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know. There is holiness when we are kind to someone who cannot possibly be of service to us. There is holiness when we promote family harmony. There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us. There is holiness when we are willing to be laughed at for what we believe in. There is holiness when we love, truly, honestly, and unselfishly. There is holiness when we remember the lonely and bring cheer into a dark corner. There is holiness when we share our bread, our ideas, our enthusiasm. It is holy to say, I see you, I hear you, and thank you. There is holiness when we have the humility and the courage to grow and change to make our world more just and compassionate. And there is holiness when we reach out by whatever means are open to us to support each other in any of these endeavors. We are being called upon to strengthen our working relationship with uncertainty. Being storytelling animals whose brains generate, latch onto, and thrive on narrative, not knowing where this story goes is a very uncomfortable state to be in. Have you noticed that? Let's look at what we have here. We have an inkling of the beginning of this story. We know more about our own exact experience than exactly how all of this began. Then we're in this holding pattern and have very little information or ability to project as to what the arc of the story will be after this part. Well, our brain will try to fill in details as soon as possible as to how we got here. How we got here would be looking at the past and hoping we get information that will help us avoid a crisis in the future. This is certainly an important survival skill. We wouldn't want to get rid of it. Just all of the ruminating and going around in circles is very difficult. Often, even without good information, our brain still wants to make that story, and then the story can degrade into blame, overwhelming regret, clinging to untrue or misunderstood information. You know the pitfalls. It's exhausting. To make a tidy story, we need to see where this is all heading. We hope to maybe be relieved of our fears or know whether to figure out how to protect ourselves, or we want to look forward to relaxing and celebrating. Right now, what we're doing is all we know about that story. What we know is that this uncomfortable holding pattern is necessary for us and compassionate to others. It is a moment in time that is very dissatisfying to the storytelling mind. The storytelling mind would love to generate something nice and definitive for us. Well, we need a rest from this. We need a degree of space from these thoughts so we can deal with them. There is a tool in meditation called labeling that we can employ to do that. So, we're going to invite the body and the mind to be in the same place at the same moment. That's how we always orient ourselves to get ready for meditation. So get comfortable in your chair or on the floor, standing, however and wherever you are. And I'm going to invite you to try to imagine your breath sweeping up the left side of your body. And to you that looks like my right side, right? I'm not switching here. Okay. Sweeping up the left side of your body as you inhale, pausing at the crown of your head before the exhale, and then imagine sweeping down the right side of your body with the exhale. And then you'll pause for a moment. And you'll sweep the breath up through the body on the same side you just let out the breath, up on the right side, sweeping up. And a pause. And imagine sweeping down. And really think about all the different parts of your body as your imagination is having the breath pass through that part of your body, down to the bottom, and a pause. All right, so let's try that together. And remember, it might be the hard part might be to remember that when you go down, you're going to come up on the same side. Okay, so come up on the left side, pause, down on the right side, and just let that exhale go right into the ground. And now we're going to just pull from the earth right through our body. Pause. Down on the left side. And then imagining the breath coming through. Pause. And down on the right side. All right. And up again. Pause. Down. So as you really get your attention there, you can keep breathing. As you get your attention there with your body awareness and your mind and your breath, you are really bringing everything into the same moment, every part of you. So we're going to come up the left side again. And a pause. Down the right side, and now pause, up the right side. To the crown and pause, and down the left side. All right, just straighten and try to have some nice, gentle breathing now. So, we're going to have some nice gentle breathing, natural breathing. And we're going to bring into awareness now what our mind does naturally. We're going to continue to breathe gently, trying to stay with the breath. And when our mind wanders, as it will, we will note to ourselves if the thought that is arising is one from about the past, the present, or the future. So past would be, I should have done this, or they shouldn't have done that. Maybe I left the stove on. Present would be, my toe itches. And you can let your toe itch and then leave it there and just keep coming back to the breath. And future would be, what program am I going to watch tonight? Or what are we having for dinner? Or any of those kinds of things, or how will this ever end? The labeling of that kind of thought is gives us space so that we don't have to react to the thought. It's just a teeny bit of space between saying, what are we having for dinner tonight? Future, come back to the breath. I should have put in a laundry before I started watching this. Past, come back to the breath. We can leave the thought there. We can return to our breathing. And so I would like us to practice this for a minute. I'll practice it with you for 1 minute. And really, sincerely, a minute, because Charlie's going to time me. It's always nice for us to also orient as to how long is a minute. And so remembering that we're going to be with this gentle breath. And then when our mind wanders with curiosity, you say, look at that, a future thought, a past thought. Look at that, my toe itches. And non-judgment, no judging that your mind wandered, not a problem, because the place where you notice your mind has wandered, that is the place that strengthens your ability to control your thoughts and to be thinking the thoughts you want to think and to move away from thoughts that you don't want to think. Because we hope, of course, that our practice has spillover into our regular lives, right? All right, so remember, just gentle breathing, gentle treatment of ourselves, and we'll try this for a moment, labeling past, present, future, labeling our thoughts and always returning to the breath. Okay. As we do this, we want to make sure that no part of our body is clenching up, especially our face and our shoulders and our back. Let it all relax. A few more seconds. And that's a minute. And of course, you can always return to this tool. It probably would be good to do it a little bit longer than that. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to now. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to now. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to love. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to love. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to hope. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to hope. Posing an Open and Generous Question by Parker Palmer, who is a columnist for Krista Tippett's On Being. He begins by quoting Rainer Maria Rilke from Letters to a Young Poet. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves like locked rooms and like books that are written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers, which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will find them gradually without noticing it, and live along some distant day into the answer. It reminds me, says Parker Palmer, to pay attention to the big questions I ask myself because they help shape the course of my life. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to read this to you. Now, I usually do this reading around the new year, but we are in a very special situation now where we might want to ask ourselves some big questions about what we want this time that we have, what we want to do with it, what aspects of ourselves do we want to develop, what do we want to be thinking about it when we come out of this isolation. And so he says, if I want a life-giving answer, I'd better ask a life-giving question, because some distant day I may find that I've lived my way into an answer for better or for worse. A question like, How can I get even with those who have wronged me creates a very different life path than how can I best serve the needs I see around me? Or how can I more fully enjoy the beauty of the natural world? A few years ago, as I entered my 70s, I began pondering a question I thought of as a good one. What do I want to let go of, and what do I want to hang on to? But the more I lived into that question, the more uneasy I felt about it, so I asked a few friends to help me explore my uneasiness. By the end of that session, my question had morphed into something better. What do I want to let go of, and what do I want to give myself to? What do I want to hang on to? That's a clingy question, with a whiff of desperation about it. But what do I want to give myself to is an open and generous question. That question has taken me into places where I have found new life, and I am grateful. And so, if you were asking yourself, what do I want to give myself to at this time? That may be a life-giving question for you. We started this service with a song, Take the Time to Love. And that may be the underpinning of your answer to that question. And so I would like to offer this benediction. Eternal Heart of Goodness, teach us to temper our impatience. Teach us how to retain our conviction that what we do makes a difference, that even our smallest act can contribute to the good of a greater whole. Be with me when there are uncertainties. Comfort my losses. Rejoice with my small triumphs as I earnestly try to help and serve others. And let the health and safety of others be like a wellspring that feeds my very soul. Amen. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on. Be well. God bless.